On the 27th of September 2020, the Danish Railway Museum ran a special on the occasion of MZ Class 1401's operational ticket running out. Therefore, a sort of temporary farewell tour was arranged, departing from Odense bound for Esbjerg, where the locomotive would run around and begin the return journey. The locomotive's operational ticket was due to expire in the spring of 2020, but was extended so that the tour could take place on the 27th. Sadly, due to COVID-19 restrictions, the museum didn't find it responsible to complete the tour with passengers, and therefore the number of departures was limited to a single empty stock run for technical reasons. MZ Class number 1401 was delivered to the Danish State Railways in 1967 and was the first example of the then new MZ Class, which was a continuation of the modernization that the State Railways had begun in the 1950s with the likes of the MX and MY class. In June 1967, number 1401 arrived in Denmark from Sweden and was upon its arrival tested a full year before deliveries were started on the rest of the series. The new MZ class was not only bigger than previous classes but also significantly stronger, boasting a full 3,300 horsepower and a top speed of 143 km an hour or 88 miles per hour. Originally they were fitted with boilers for steam heating, but were later converted for electric heating in the 1980s. They were also delivered with round buffers, but these were changed to square ones after a number of derailments and accidents. They also had curved cab windows, but these were covered in the 1980s when the class went for major overhauls. The class weighed in at 116.5 tons and measured 20.8 meters from buffer to buffer. The cabs were built as boxes that were lowered into the frames and not metallically in contact with the rest of the locomotive, which ensured better isolations toward cold, vibration and sound. The MZ class was intended for use on the increasingly heavier trains and were put in front of the great passenger service and on goods trains. They could be seen on international services, regional services, and later in their career on the Great Danling goods trains, connecting Sweden with Germany through Denmark. After the success of the first series, NOHAP delivered a second series of 16 locomotives, with the only difference to the first being a different location of the batteries and main reservoir. In 1972, State Railways received the third series, which differed from the first two by having a 20-cylinder engine instead of a 16, and a top speed of 165 km or 102 miles per hour. In 1977, the fourth and last series was delivered, which also had a 20-cylinder engine, electric heating and electrodynamic braking. Furthermore, the fourth series was the quietest of the MZ class. In the late 1970s, the MZ class were, like the rest of the State Railways rolling stock, put through some harsh winters of 1978 and 79. Here, a large portion of the rolling stock was often derailed or stuck in snowdrifts around the country. The State Railways therefore tried to keep the lines open with so-called plough trains or snow clearing trains, at first with the MY and MX class locos, but later on also with members of the MZ class. The MZ, MY and MX and even the BNS class driving trailers still had problems in the Norval service, as they were delivered with vertical skirts under the front of the units, which wasn't suitable for clearing larger drifts and heavy amounts of snow. As a result, the MZ class and other units were equipped with permanent ploughs from the 1980s onwards. In the 1990s, the then new IC3 units signaled the end of the MZ and other large diesel locomotives in front of the intercity services in Denmark. To begin with, there wasn't enough IC3 units to go around, so the MZ class could be seen in front of so-called IR trains. Otherwise, the MZs was still a common sight on regional services as well as international Eurocity trains, and a few sleeper trains. At the end of the 90s, the line to Korsør had been electrified and a number of electric EA locomotives had been delivered, limiting the working areas of the MZ further. Even the big goods services disappeared around the beginning of the 21st century. Among the first to be taken out of service was the third series due to the advanced engines and turbochargers, and in June 1999 they were all sidelined. Since then, a number of these have been sold to Australia and can still be seen working down under. In December 2000, the remaining MZ classes in service were transferred to the company Railion, of which a large portion of these have since found work in Sweden and Norway. The majority of the 4th series, however, is still seen hard at work back in Denmark and can be seen on good services around the country. In July 2000, the first of the MZ class, number 1401, was handed over to the Danish Railway Museum, where it has since been put into good use both on various rail tours, but also when moving stock around from the Railway Museum's various depots around the country. The latter being a task that will be taken over by the museum's MY class locomotives until 1401 is back on the rails again. Thanks for watching this first episode of the Danish Railway Series Advent Calendar, and I hope I'll see you all in the next one.